What if I told you there's a bird in Ghana so bizarre that locals once believed it crawled straight out of the rocks, and another that might just chat with you over morning coffee? Curious? You should be, because by the end of this video, you'll meet them all. Welcome to Ghana, a country in West Africa where the forests, rivers, and savannas are bursting with some of the rarest and most extraordinary birds on Earth. This isn't just about parrots and pigeons. Oh no. Here you'll find prehistoric-looking rockfowl, acrobatic rollers, and even a bird rumored to clean crocodile teeth. Yes, crocodiles. In the next few minutes, we'll take a journey through Ghana's wild heart, meeting 15 species so colorful, so strange, and so downright fascinating that you might think nature went a little overboard here. Some of these birds are funny, some are elegant, and some are just plain weird, but all of them are unforgettable. So here's the question to keep in mind. If you could only see one bird in Ghana with your own eyes, which would it be? Stick around, because by the end, you might just change your answer. Let's dive in with our first showstopper, the magnificent great blue turaco. Let's kick things off with a bird that looks like it was designed by a fashion stylist who had way too much fun. Meet the great blue turaco, the largest of all turacos, and one of Ghana's most spectacular birds. This feathered giant can grow over 2 feet long, with a long tail that makes it look even bigger. Its body is a brilliant turquoise blue, its belly flashes bright yellow, and right on top of its head sits a funky black crest, like a feathered crown that says, "Yes, I know I look good," and it does. The great blue turaco is not shy about showing off either. You'll often find them moving in small groups through the treetops, bouncing from branch to branch like colorful acrobats. They may be big, but they're surprisingly graceful. And when they take flight, the flash of yellow and blue against the green forest canopy is unforgettable. Here's a fun fact. Turacos have a pigment in their feathers called turaco verdin. Unlike most birds whose green feathers come from light reflection, turacos are literally green. If you grind the feathers, they stay green. Scientists love this. But I'm guessing the turaco doesn't appreciate being part of lab experiments. But wait, here's a twist. For all their size and beauty, great blue turacos are actually fruit addicts. They spend their days plucking figs and berries, swallowing them whole, and then flying off to plant new trees across the forest. So in a way, these birds are both supermodels and gardeners of the rainforest. Sadly, hunting and deforestation threaten their numbers. People value them for food and feathers, and as the forest shrinks, so does their population. Yet in places where they survive, they remain icons of the treetops, a reminder of just how colorful West Africa can be. So here's a question for you. If you could choose one neighbor in your backyard, would you go for a quiet gray dove or a 2-foot-long turquoise blue fruit junkie with a funky crest? Drop your answer below. And now, from the beauty of the canopy, we meet another icon of Ghana. This one famous not for its looks, but for its brains, the gray parrot. From the colorful supermodel of the canopy, we now meet a bird that doesn't just look good, it can actually talk back. This is the gray parrot, one of the smartest birds in the world and a true celebrity of Ghana's forests. At first glance, the gray parrot might look a little understated. Soft silver gray feathers, a pale face, and a bright red tail for a pop of color. But don't let the simple wardrobe fool you. Inside that head is a brain powerful enough to rival some primates. These parrots are legendary mimics. They can copy the sound of dripping water, the ring of your phone, or even your laugh so perfectly you'll wonder if someone else is in the room. Here's a fun fact. Some gray parrots don't just mimic, they understand. One famous parrot named Alex could identify objects, answer questions, and even invent new words. When shown an apple, he once called it a bannery, a mix between banana and cherry. It shows just how creative these birds can be. But here's the twist. Their brilliance has made them victims. Because gray parrots can talk, they are highly prized as pets. Thousands have been trapped and smuggled out of Africa, and their populations in the wild have dropped sharply. Today, they're endangered, and conservationists are fighting to protect the ones that remain in countries like Ghana. Still, seeing a gray parrot in the wild is unforgettable. They gather in noisy flocks, chattering constantly, almost like a crowded cafe in the treetops. They form lifelong pairs, showing loyalty and affection not just to mates, but to their entire social circle. It's no wonder people feel such a connection to them. They seem just a little bit like us. So here's a question. If you had a gray parrot in your home for one day, what's the first phrase you'd teach it to say? Let us know in the comments. And now, from one of the smartest birds in Africa, we shift to one of the strangest. A bird that looks like it crawled straight out of the rocks and into legend. The mysterious white-necked Pikethartes. Now brace yourself, because this next bird doesn't look like it belongs in the same world as the parrot we just met. In fact, some people swear it looks more like a prehistoric creature than a modern bird. Meet the white-necked Pikethartes, also known as the yellow-headed rockfowl, one of Ghana's strangest and most mysterious residents. Picture a slim bird with a white neck, a dark gray body, and a bald, bright yellow head. Add a long tail and skinny legs, and you've got a bird that looks like it walked right out of a fossil. No wonder early explorers were baffled when they first saw one. They honestly thought it didn't belong to any known bird family. But here's the cool part. Pikethartes are masters of unusual living. Instead of nesting in trees like most birds, they build mud nests attached to caves and rock walls, often under giant boulders hidden deep in the forest. Imagine stumbling into a cave and finding a line of mud, half bowls stuck to the wall, each with a pair of wide-eyed chicks staring back at you. It's a scene straight out of a fantasy movie. Here's a fun fact. Pikethartes are so rare and elusive that even experienced birdwatchers can spend weeks searching without success. Spotting one in the wild is considered a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, the kind of sighting that earns bragging rights for years. And here's the twist. Despite looking so strange, their behavior is surprisingly ordinary. They hop along the forest floor looking for insects, frogs, and even small lizards. So while they may look like dinosaurs, they spend their time acting like bug hunters. Sadly, their unique lifestyle puts them at risk. Because they rely on caves and rocky outcrops, deforestation and human disturbance can quickly wipe out entire colonies. Protecting them is essential, not just for the species, but for the sense of mystery they bring to Ghana's forests. So what do you think? Does the white-necked Pikethartes look more like a bird, a dinosaur, or maybe even an alien? Share your thoughts below. And now, from a bird that clings to rocks, we glide into the rivers to meet a secretive swimmer with strange feet, the rare African finfoot. After the cave-dwelling mystery of the Pikethartes, let's slip quietly into the rivers and streams of Ghana, where one of the most secretive birds in Africa is hiding in plain sight. This is the African finfoot, a bird so rare and shy that even local fishermen sometimes don't notice it gliding right past their canoes. At first glance, the finfoot looks like a duck that couldn't decide what it wanted to be. It has a long neck, a thin, sharp bill, and dark plumage. But the real giveaway is its feet. Instead of webbed toes like ducks, it has bright orange lobed toes, almost like it's wearing flippers designed by a fashion brand. These strange feet let it swim with surprising grace, paddling silently through narrow channels, then climbing up onto logs with ease. Here's a fun fact. The African finfoot is so stealthy that birdwatchers call it the phantom of the river. It often hugs the bank under heavy vegetation, disappearing with a quick dive if disturbed. Spotting one feels like winning a secret lottery of the birding world. And here's the twist. Despite being aquatic, the finfoot is not closely related to ducks or grebes at all. It belongs to its own unique family, Podicipedidae, making it a one-of-a-kind oddball in the bird world. Imagine being at a family reunion where nobody knows exactly which table you belong to. That's the finfoot at every bird party. Sadly, their elusive nature doesn't protect them from threats. Habitat loss from deforestation and river pollution is shrinking their strongholds across Africa. Without clean, shaded rivers, this phantom swimmer could vanish completely. So here's a question for you. If you were paddling down a river in Ghana and suddenly saw a bright orange foot slip under the water, would you chase after it or just sit quietly and enjoy the moment? Let us know below. And now, from a ghostly swimmer of the rivers, let's meet a bird of legend, one said to have cleaned the teeth of crocodiles, the Egyptian plover. From the shadowy rivers of the African finfoot, we now meet a bird surrounded by myth and legend. This is the Egyptian plover, sometimes nicknamed the crocodile bird. And yes, the story goes exactly where you think it does. According to ancient tales, the Egyptian plover walks right into the open mouth of a basking crocodile to pick scraps of meat from between its teeth. The croc gets a free dental cleaning, and the bird gets lunch. Sounds like the ultimate win-win partnership, right? Whether this story is fact or fiction is still debated by scientists, but it's one of the most famous bird myths in the world. And honestly, who wouldn't want to believe it? Even without the crocodile connection, this bird is worth a look. The Egyptian plover has striking plumage, pearly gray wings, a crisp black breastband, and a white crown with a sharp black mask. Add its long legs and elegant stance, and it looks more like a runway model than a swamp dweller. Here's a fun fact. Unlike many shorebirds, the plover lays its eggs directly on open sandbars. But instead of leaving them exposed, the adults actually bury the eggs under warm sand, like little treasure chests. They even cool them by soaking their belly feathers in water and sitting on the nest to regulate the temperature. Nature's version of climate control. And here's the twist. Despite being called the Egyptian plover, this bird is not limited to Egypt. In fact, Ghana's river systems are one of the best places to see it. Spotting one strutting gracefully along the riverbank is a highlight for any birder visiting West Africa. Sadly, their sandy nesting sites are increasingly disturbed by humans and livestock. Without quiet stretches of riverbank, these elegant little dentists struggle to raise their young. So here's a question. If you had the chance to watch one in action, would you root for the brave little bird stepping into the crocodile's jaws, or for the croc holding still for its dental appointment? Share your thoughts below. And now, from a bird with a mythical job, we meet a species that looks like it's sporting a bright red beard, the bearded barbet. After the elegance of the Egyptian plover, it's time for something bold and a little eccentric. Meet the bearded barbet, a bird that looks like it just stepped out of a cartoon. With its fiery red body, jet black wings, oversized orange bill, and yes, a tuft of feathers that looks exactly like a beard, this bird is impossible to ignore. The bearded barbet is one of Ghana's most colorful residents. That giant bill isn't just for show, it's designed for crushing fruit. Barbets are known as fruit specialists, and this one spends much of its day hopping around fig trees, swallowing berries whole, and dropping the seeds across the forest. Think of it as a flashy gardener with a beard. Here's a fun fact. That feather beard isn't just decoration. It actually helps keep food particles from sticking to the bird's bill. In other words, nature gave it a built-in napkin. Handy, right? But here's the twist. For all its clownish looks, the bearded barbet has a surprisingly serious family life. These birds are cavity nesters, often living in tree holes in small groups. Multiple adults will help care for chicks, feeding them and guarding the nest together. It's like a big, noisy family where everyone chips in. Only this family happens to dress in bright red. Their call is another unforgettable trait. Instead of a melodious song, they produce a low, repetitive growl that sounds more like a frog than a bird. Imagine seeing this flamboyant creature perched in a tree and then hearing it croak like a toad. It's the kind of surprise that makes you laugh out loud. Though not endangered, bearded barbets depend on healthy forests and fruiting trees. Habitat loss could silence their frog-like calls and strip the forest of one of its most comical characters. So here's a question. If you could pick one bird to hang out with at a picnic, would you choose the elegant plover in a tuxedo or the red-bearded fruit junkie with a croaky voice? Share your choice in the comments. And now, from a bird that waddles through fruit trees, we take to the skies for one of West Africa's most dazzling flyers, the Abyssinian roller. From the bearded clown of the forest, let's turn to a bird that owns the sky like a stunt pilot at an air show. Meet the Abyssinian roller, one of the most breathtaking flyers in Ghana, and a bird that proves nature knows how to put on a performance. The roller is striking even when perched. Its turquoise blue wings shine like polished gemstones. Its chestnut back adds warm contrast, and its long tail streamers trail elegantly behind. But once it takes flight, the show begins. During display flights, the roller dives, flips, and rolls in midair. Yes, that's how it got its name. Watching one twist across the savanna sky is like seeing an Olympic gymnast with feathers. Here's a fun fact. Rollers often perform their acrobatics while chasing insects, combining dinner with a little entertainment. They swoop after grasshoppers, beetles, and even small lizards, snatching them midair with precision. It's a meal and a show rolled into one. And here's the twist. Despite looking so graceful, rollers can be hilariously aggressive. They perch out in the open, loudly proclaiming their territory, and won't hesitate to dive bomb larger birds that get too close. Imagine a brightly colored little daredevil yelling, "This is my sky," while chasing off a hawk twice its size. The Abyssinian roller is also culturally significant. In many parts of West Africa, it's considered a symbol of beauty and vitality, often appearing in local art and folklore. Its dazzling colors make it a favorite not only for birdwatchers, but for anyone lucky enough to spot one flashing across the horizon. Though still fairly common, rollers depend on open habitats and healthy insect populations. As farmland expands and pesticides spread, their aerial shows may become less frequent. Protecting the landscapes they thrive in helps ensure that future generations can look up and gasp in awe at their rolling flights. So here's a question for you. If you could capture just one bird in a photo, would you choose the red-bearded fruit lover from before? Or this turquoise stunt pilot of the skies? Drop your answer below. And now from sky acrobatics, we move to a bird that doesn't need tricks to impress. It wears royal purple feathers and a crimson crown. Let's meet the violet turako. After the high-flying stunts of the Abyssinian roller, it's time for pure royalty. Meet the violet turako, a bird so dazzling, it looks like it was hand-painted for a parade. This bird's entire body glows with deep violet purple, accented by a bright crimson crest and wing patches. Add a yellow-tipped red bill, and you've got a creature that looks like it walks straight out of a Mardi Gras celebration. When sunlight filters through the forest canopy and hits its feathers, the violet turako seems to shine from within. Here's a fun fact. Turakos are the only birds in the world with true green and violet pigments in their feathers, not just reflected light. The pigment, called turacoverdin, means their colors stay brilliant even if you grind the feathers into dust. Scientists find this fascinating, but let's be honest, the bird probably just wants to look fabulous. But here's the twist. For all its glamorous colors, the violet turako isn't a smooth flyer. In fact, its flight is clumsy and noisy, more like a flapping chicken than a soaring eagle. Instead, it's built for agility in the trees. It hops and climbs like a feathered monkey, chasing figs and berries with surprising speed. Turakos are also social birds, often moving in small groups. Their calls are loud, croaky, and almost frog-like, which can be a little jarring when you see such a regal-looking bird croaking like an amphibian. Imagine a purple king shouting like a frog. It's equal parts majestic and hilarious. In many West African cultures, the violet turako is celebrated as a symbol of vitality and joy. Seeing one in the wild is like catching a glimpse of living art, but like many forest birds, it depends on healthy fruiting trees, making conservation of its habitat essential. So here's a question. If you could choose one bird as the official mascot of Ghana's forests, would you go with the violet king or the turquoise stunt pilot we just met? Share your pick in the comments. And now from a royal croaker, we turn to a noisy neighbor with a giant bill and a playful personality, the African pied hornbill. From the royal purple of the violet turako, we move to a bird that never learned how to keep quiet. Meet the African pied hornbill, a noisy, playful resident of Ghana's forests with a bill so large it looks like nature oversized the order. This hornbill is instantly recognizable. Black and white plumage gives it a classy tuxedo look, while the long, curving yellow bill with its prominent casque turns it into a walking exclamation point. When it flaps through the trees, its wings make a deep, whooshing sound, almost like a helicopter passing overhead. You can hear it coming long before you see it. Here's a fun fact. Hornbills are famous for their unusual nesting strategy. The female seals herself inside a tree cavity with mud and droppings, leaving only a narrow slit. The male then feeds her and the chicks through that slit for weeks. In the case of the pied hornbill, this turns into a full-on delivery service. Think DoorDash, but with figs and insects instead of pizza. But here's the twist. For all their noisy comic personality, pied hornbills play a serious role in the ecosystem. They are major seed dispersers, swallowing fruits whole and spreading the seeds far and wide. Without them, the forest would lose one of its best gardeners. Their social behavior also makes them entertaining to watch. They often move in pairs or small groups, constantly calling to each other with loud nasal honks that sound a bit like a kazoo. Imagine a tuxedo-wearing bird with a kazoo for a voice, and you'll never forget the African pied hornbill. Though still fairly common, they face habitat pressure as old trees are cut down, taking away their nesting sites. Protecting these birds means protecting the forests they help sustain. So here's a question. If you had to choose one noisy neighbor, would you rather live next to the croaking violet turaco or the kazoo-playing pied hornbill? Share your answer in the comments. And now, from a bird that honks like a clown, we glide to the savannah to meet a long-tailed bird that prefers the company of noisy friends, the yellow-billed shrike. If the pied hornbill is the noisy kazoo of the forest, then the yellow-billed shrike is the chatterbox of the savannah. Meet a bird that believes life is better with friends, and it shows. This long-tailed shrike is striking with its chocolate-brown body, streaked white breast, and of course, that bright yellow bill that shines like a neon sign. But the real giveaway isn't how it looks, it's how it acts. Yellow-billed shrikes are highly social. Instead of living alone, they gather in noisy groups of 10, 20, or even more, all perched together on a single branch like an avian cheer squad. Here's a fun fact. These birds have a habit of sitting so close that their long tails overlap, forming what birdwatchers call a train. From a distance, it looks like a single long-tailed creature stretching across the branch. Talk about synchronized perching. And here's the twist. For all their cheerful togetherness, shrikes are also skilled hunters. They feast on insects, small lizards, and even rodents, often swooping down from their lookout posts to snatch prey with precision. Some shrikes are known for impaling food on thorns for later, earning them the nickname butcher birds. So while the yellow-billed shrike may look friendly, don't be fooled. It has a sharp side too. Their constant chatter makes them stand out in the African soundscape. Spend a morning in Ghana's savannas, and you'll hear them calling back and forth, keeping the social club alive. It's noisy, it's messy, and it's absolutely unforgettable. Though not endangered, they depend on open woodlands and savanna habitats, which are shrinking as agriculture expands. Protecting these spaces ensures that the chatter and laughter of the yellow-billed shrike continues to echo across the grasslands. So here's a question. If you had to choose, would you rather join the rowdy shrike social club or stick with a quieter species like the plover or finfoot? Share your choice in the comments. And now, from the loud life of the savannah, we turn to a smaller songbird whose sweet voice can calm the noisiest day, the snowy-crowned robin-chat. After the rowdy social club of the yellow-billed shrike, it's time to slow down and enjoy some music. Meet the snowy-crowned robin-chat, a small bird with a big voice and one of Ghana's sweetest natural performers. At first glance, this robin-chat looks modest. Warm orange underparts, dark wings, and a crisp white crown that shines like fresh snow. But the real magic is in its song. Perched in the understory or near forest edges, the snowy-crowned robin-chat delivers a melodious stream of whistles, chirps, and warbles. It doesn't just sing, it improvises, adding little twists and flourishes that make each performance unique. Here's a fun fact. These birds are masters of mimicry. They weave sounds from other birds, and sometimes even from their surroundings, into their own songs. Imagine listening to a symphony where the flute section suddenly throws in a trumpet riff. That's the robin-chat at work, keeping the forest soundscape fresh. But here's the twist. For all their beautiful music, they are shy performers. They prefer singing from hidden perches, often behind dense leaves. You'll hear them loud and clear, but catching a glimpse can be tricky. It's like having a world-class singer in your backyard who insists on performing behind the curtain. Despite their modest size, these birds play an important role in the ecosystem. They control insect populations and add to the complex web of sounds that define healthy African forests. Their presence is often a good sign that the habitat is thriving. Though not considered threatened, they depend on forest edges and secondary growth, meaning rapid deforestation could silence their song in some areas. Protecting their habitats ensures that future generations can still wake up to their cheerful morning concerts. So here's a question. If you could wake up to one sound every morning, would you choose the croak of the hornbill, the chatter of the shrike, or the sweet melody of the snowy-crowned robin chat? Share your answer in the comments. And now, from a hidden songster, we move to a bolder forest bird with a striking look and strong personality, the black-crowned ant shrike. From the sweet melody of the robin chat, we now meet a bird that doesn't rely on song to get your attention. It does it with bold style and attitude. This is the black-crowned ant shrike, a striking little bird of Ghana's forests that proves sometimes simple colors can be the most dramatic. The male is unmistakable, crisp black and white plumage with a bold black crown that gives him a serious, almost military look. The female, on the other hand, wears warm brown tones, more subtle but equally elegant. Together, they form one of the most eye-catching pairs in the forest understory. Here's a fun fact. Ant shrikes are named for their habit of following army ants. Not to eat the ants, but to feast on the insects and small creatures that flee in panic from the marching swarm. It's like showing up at a buffet without paying for the food. The ants do all the work, and the ant shrike reaps the reward. But here's the twist. Despite their bold look, ant shrikes can be surprisingly sneaky. They often stay hidden in dense vegetation, announcing their presence with sharp calls but refusing to step into the open. Birdwatchers hear them far more often than they see them, which only adds to the mystery. They also have strong family bonds. Pairs defend territories together, often duetting with perfectly timed calls that sound like a well-rehearsed duet. It's their way of saying, "This patch of forest is ours, thank you very much." While not globally threatened, ant shrikes depend on intact forest habitats. As logging and farming spread, the quiet corners they rely on grow fewer and fewer. Protecting these forests means protecting the hidden dramas of birds like the ant shrike, who make the understory come alive. So here's a question. Would you rather watch the ant shrike pulling off its clever ant-following trick, or the robin chat delivering a secret concert? Drop your choice in the comments. And now, from the shadows of the forest floor, we shoot into the open skies to meet a flashy little raptor with fiery feet, the red-footed falcon. After the shadowy tricks of the ant shrike, it's time to speed things up with a bird built for the chase. Meet the red-footed falcon, a small raptor with a flashy style and lightning-fast moves. This falcon is compact but striking. The males wear smooth slate blue plumage with piercing orange-red feet and legs that look like they've been dipped in fire. The females sport a different outfit, warm brown with bold streaks and the same fiery red feet. Together, they're a perfect mix of elegance and power. Here's a fun fact. Red-footed falcons are aerial hunters, and they're masters of catching insects on the wing. Picture a falcon zipping through the sky, snatching dragonflies in midair with deadly precision. During the breeding season, they also go after small mammals and birds, but most of the time, it's an insect feast on the fly. But here's the twist. Unlike many solitary raptors, red-footed falcons can be surprisingly social. In some regions, they nest in loose colonies, with several pairs sharing the same area. It's like a falcon neighborhood, complete with squabbles, noisy chicks, and the occasional mid-air food theft. They're also long-distance travelers. These birds migrate thousands of miles between Africa and Eastern Europe. Spotting one in Ghana is like catching a pit stop on a transcontinental road trip. They refuel on insects before continuing their incredible journey north. Sadly, red-footed falcons face threats from habitat loss and declines in insect populations. Pesticides and changing land use have made their migration routes more dangerous. Protecting their habitats in Africa is just as important as conserving their breeding grounds in Europe. So here's a question. If you had the chance to watch one hunting, would you prefer to see it chasing dragonflies like a fighter jet? Or watch a whole colony of them squabbling like noisy neighbors? Share your answer below. And now, from a little raptor with fiery feet we move to another acrobat of the skies. A dazzling bird with a turquoise belly and a love for dramatic flight displays, the blue-bellied roller. From the fiery chase of the red-footed falcon, we now meet a bird that doesn't hunt with speed but dazzles with pure style. This is the blue-bellied roller, one of West Africa's most beautiful birds and a true acrobat of the skies. At first glance, it looks like a painter went wild with a brush. The head and back shine with creamy white and tan. The wings blaze deep cobalt blue, and the belly glows with bright turquoise. Add a long tail with trailing streamers, and the blue-bellied roller looks like living artwork whenever it takes off. Here's a fun fact. Rollers get their name from their aerial displays, where they dive, twist, and roll dramatically in the air. The blue-bellied roller takes this to another level, performing somersaults and swoops during courtship flights. Imagine a feathered stunt plane showing off in the African sky. It's a performance no one forgets. But here's the twist. Despite their graceful flight, these rollers can be rather aggressive when defending their territory. They perch out in the open, scanning for insects and small prey, and will loudly chase away anything that intrudes, including much larger birds. For something so elegant, they sure know how to throw a tantrum. Blue-bellied rollers are also favorites among local communities and travelers. Their bright colors make them easy to spot, and their habit of perching in visible places means they seem to enjoy the attention. They've become symbols of vibrancy and resilience in West Africa, celebrated not just for their looks, but for the life they bring to the savanna. Though not endangered, they still rely on healthy woodland edges and open grasslands. As these habitats shrink, the skies lose some of their sparkle. Protecting them helps keep West Africa's natural air show alive. So here's a question. If you had to choose just one bird for your dream safari photo, would it be the turquoise flash of the blue-bellied roller or the fiery-footed falcon we just met? Share your answer in the comments. And now for our final bird of Ghana, we leave the skies and step down to the wetlands to meet a sentinel with strange yellow wattles. The West African wattled lapwing. From the dazzling colors of the blue-bellied roller, we now meet a bird that proves you don't need rainbows to stand out. Say hello to the West African wattled lapwing, a wetland sentinel with a face you'll never forget. This lapwing wears sharp black and white plumage, but what really catches your eye are the bright yellow wattles hanging from its face like tiny ornaments. Add its long red legs and bold yellow wing patches, and you get a bird that looks like it walked out of a fashion experiment gone slightly wild. But in the marshes and floodplains of Ghana, this look is pure perfection. Here's a fun fact. Lapwings are famous for their bravery. Despite their medium size, they aggressively defend their nests, dive-bombing intruders, including humans, if they get too close. Imagine a bird half the size of a chicken chasing away cows, or even people, all for the safety of its chicks. It's both hilarious and impressive. And here's the twist. Those flashy yellow wattles aren't just decoration, they're part of the bird's defense system. When the lapwing spreads its wings in alarm, the wattles swing dramatically, making it look larger and more threatening than it really is. It's the bird equivalent of puffing up your chest to scare off a bully. These lapwings also serve as early warning systems for other animals. Their sharp alarm calls ring across wetlands whenever danger approaches, alerting everything from antelope to smaller birds. In a way, they act like the marsh's neighborhood watch. Though still common in West Africa, wattled lapwings depend on wetlands that are increasingly threatened by farming and development. Protecting marshes helps not only these bold guardians, but countless other species that rely on the same fragile habitats. So here's a question. If you were walking through a Ghanaian wetland and heard a loud alarm call, would you stop to admire the lapwing or duck and run before it dive bombs you? Let us know in the comments. And now, as we close our journey through Ghana's skies, rivers, and forests, let's take a moment to reflect on what these 15 rare and remarkable birds teach us about one of Africa's most vibrant countries. And there you have it, 15 of the rarest, most fascinating birds of Ghana. From the turquoise flash of the great blue turaco to the brainy gray parrot, from the cave-dwelling mystery of the Picathartes to the bold wattles of the lapwing, each bird tells its own story about this incredible country. What's amazing is how much variety is packed into one place. Ghana's forests, rivers, savannas, and wetlands are alive with color, sound, and character. Some of these birds make us laugh with their odd looks, some impress us with intelligence or bravery, and others simply take our breath away with beauty. Together, they show why Ghana is one of West Africa's true birding treasures. But these species are more than just pretty faces. They pollinate, spread seeds, control insects, and even inspire myths and culture. Protecting them means protecting the ecosystems that sustain life for people as well as wildlife. So now it's your turn. Which bird surprised you the most today? Was it the crocodile cleaning plover, the red-bearded fruit eater, or maybe the parrot that could outsmart you? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because our next journey will take you to another corner of the world where the birds get even stranger.